Hi everybody and welcome to Book Club Review with Alicia Dianne and I. That's me, and we're gonna be continuing viewing Selling for Dummies. So we have read this past week chapter 18. So we are officially in the countdown. There's like 4 chapters left. So we are in the countdown. So chapter 18 is setting goals and staying focused. This was I think I would say this is the best chapter I've read so far. Even though I've read a lot already on goals. I just always think that just getting more information about goal setting is so helpful. And this chapter really gave me even some good insights, even though I already have done a lot of reading and research on goal setting. But this one, I felt like it kind of strengthened what I already knew, and even gave some tips on how to make them more make them more effective. Setting goals, like he kind of defines goals in general. Like when you're starting to set your goals, you want to set a 20-year goal, and I never looked at it like a regular goal as 20 years. I always thought you have to set like a 1 year goal. That was kind of like in my head, like you're always going to be setting 1 year goals. But it actually says you set those 20-year goals, cut them in half, and you do your 10 and then you 5, and then you set them into 90-day periods. So I'll get into all of that in just a sec. So first it says those who achieve the most usually burn with a have to attitude, not a want to attitude. Which obviously that makes sense because you can't just want to. It's kind of like Tony Robbins is doing, I think, some kind of a summit right now, like he usually does during the beginning of the year. It's kind of like, and one of the things he talks about always is like having hunger, and you really do have to have some kind of a hunger, some kind of a drive to really doing things that you really want to do. I think a lot of times people get caught up with the New Year's resolutions and doing things that they setting goals that they don't really want. But when you set something that you really want and you really believe that you can do, I think that's what really makes a big difference. Okay, it says what you need to know is that goals give you 3 distinct benefits. They keep you motivated, they help you stay focused, and they tell you when to celebrate. All right, are we good? I think it was connecting to the wrong device, so hopefully my audio has been okay so far. Hopefully. But if it doesn't, well, hopefully it's okay now. All right, so it says setting realistic and effective goals. Now it's time to turn those notions into specific, vivid pictures of your soon to be reality. It says goal setting should be fun, like I was just saying. Don't make it so complicated that you end up setting no goals at all for fear of your goals will be wrong. So that's a big one too. It's like, I think people maybe go to either extreme, like they'll set goals that are really out of reach, or they'll be intimidated by the whole process and not doing it at all, which I think that's even worse than being intimidated by your goals. It's not setting any goals at all, because if you don't set any goals, then you're like automatically you're not going to achieve anything. It's kind of true. Goals are maps to create for your journey to success, and sometimes with growth and development, maps change. So you have to be flexible. That's one thing that I'm learning, is to be flexible, because I've been like really hard and rigid about my goals, and like I feel like if I don't achieve what I initially said, then I'm failing in some way. But I'm realizing that that's part of the process, like assessing where you are and saying, okay, I'm gonna not twerk, twerk this, but tweak this and make it more streamlined so that I'm still moving forward, but I'm moving forward in maybe a more clearer pace. Because sometimes when I set goals, I make them so big. I don't know if you have this issue ever, but sometimes I set too many goals at once, maybe, or I set too many things to happen at once, rather than when I look at it now and I can stream like this. I can do one step here at this point and then save then this other thing that I want to do at another step. And that actually helps me to move at a pace where I can breathe and not be so anxious about, oh, I didn't meet all of my things today. All right, your goals must be better than your best, but believable. The trick to setting goals is to make them high enough to push you to strong enough levels of performance, yet reasonable enough that you can envision reaching them. Set goals based on productivity, not production. This was a good one for me. I said it's better to set productivity goals that will give you a guideline for how many people you must contact in a week, for example. Productivity precedes production anyway. So let me see if I can. How can I narrow that down? Actually, actively pursue the productivity goals and increase production results. So in productivity instead of production. So instead of setting a goal that let's see, I had like a great example for that, and I totally forgot what it was. When I was first reading it, I had like a really great example, and it really like hit me like as a haha. But I can't remember like my example now. I think man, so I think it's more based on your effort versus the results. I think that is the key takeaway. So putting in the effort rather than just making it a results based. So instead of, let's say, you're going to sell to 10 people today, or you're going to sell your book to 10 people today, it might be instead that you're going to reach out to 10 people today and tell them about your book. So that's just one example. I don't know if I'll ever remember the one I had in mind before, but it's really just measuring your effort rather than measuring the results, because with your effort the results come automatically. I remember now. It was about followers, because that was one of the goals that I was having, about like increasing my Instagram followers. And I was like, you know what, instead of having a goal to increase my Instagram followers, I'm just gonna have a goal instead to post every week, and then like hopefully and organically, with me posting more, I should organically get what I really want, which is people to engage with me and to learn about my artwork and to hopefully buy my books. And let's see, breaking your goals into smaller pieces. When you're setting goals, always begin with long-term goals and work backwards to medium range and short-term goals. This is what I was talking about before. So you start with the long-term goals. And it says long-term goals should be 20-year projections. And I never, ever thought about long-term goals as a 20-year projection. I thought of long-term goals as a 1-year goal, because my limited brain didn't allow me to think like in that bigger scope, which we should be, because I think too, when you're younger, you think 20 years is like a million years from now. It feels like forever, but it's really not. And even when I started setting goals, it was already 10 years ago. So I think when you look at it in a broader range, you can break it. It's not that you're not going to start with your goals now, but you're looking at the biggest picture possible, essentially, and then you're taking that and breaking it down into your steps. So it says 3 areas you want to consider when you set your long-term goals are personal accomplishments, including health, lifestyle, and net worth. And they give an example of like what a 20-year goal looks like, and it's kind of like, you know, like your dream house, whatever. And medium goals. So when you finish setting your long-term goals, cut them in half and set medium range goals about 10 years. Compare your 10 years goal to your 20 years goal, and then determine the activity you need to make to get these goals a reality. Then divide your 10-year goal into 5-year goals. So I think this was really great advice. It talked about your short-term goals. I think the key takeaway for your short-term goals, other than this fact, always set your short-term goals last. So you want to first set those big 20-year goals, and then work your way down to your short-term goals, which it says no longer than 90 days. So always make, this is what my business advisor calls quarterly goals. So if you divide a year into quarters, 1, 2, 3, and 4, it'll be 3-month periods, which is 90 days. So you always have your short-term goals should be 90 days. And it says immediately after you set your short-term goals, you need to start taking action steps to achieve them. So you're going to make those 90-day goals after you set your long-term goals, and then you're going to break them down into your action steps. And it gives you like a calculator for how you can determine like an annual income goal. So it breaks it down from year to month to week, and you guys can see that in the book. I'm not going to explain that whole thing. But it also talks about personal goals. and that you should never shortcut your life, your personal life, for your business goals, and also have like business goals. Also have personal goals. You want to pay attention to your family so they don't walk out on you while you're achieving your, your lifetime career dreams. So always make sure that you pay attention to your personal life, your spiritual life. It says make time to develop your spiritual life. Enjoy the fruits of your labor by taking care of your body physically and what you put in it. Setting goals for your education on things outside of business like hobbies. So it really has like great tips, and it breaks it down into like detail. So I really, really highly suggest reading this chapter. I mean, even if you're not interested in business growth or sales, or being an entrepreneur, like I think if you're an artist, you're automatically an entrepreneur. But even like regardless, I think this chapter is like for anybody, because I mean, you could be a nun and have no interest in ever earning anything in your life, other than greater closeness to God, and you could still set really great goals with this chapter. I think it's really good advice. Fulfilling your goals, so it tells you how to set goals that you want more than anything. Imagine your goals, like do the visualization. Put your goals in writing with your highlights, and commit to your goals completely. Commit to them, but be flexible and review them daily. So it gives you a lot of advice. There's a contract in here for you to sign for yourself, to commit to them, being accountable. I think having an accountability partner, it talked about having your family as an accountability partner to kind of like let them know like when you're setting your goals, so they can also be understanding of when you might have to work extra, and also letting them share the rewards with you. So like if you did make some great improvement in the money you earned, then you would do some type of celebration together, whether that's a family vacation or family dinner or whatever. So it says celebrate in proportion to your achievements. So you don't want to like go to Disneyland if you just sold like one thing. But if you did something that you were working on for 3 years, then that might be time to take a vacation, like a big vacation. So also it says ready yourself. I didn't understand what that meant. Ready yourself for a letdown after you achieve a difficult goal. It says, I'm not really sure what that part meant. It says after you celebrate, start working on the new goals you set. Keep records of all your successes. That all makes sense to me. I just let that part go. I'm like, whatever. I mean, everything else is gold. So, like one little, I don't know if it was worded wrong, or maybe I'm just reading it wrong. If you understand, please share in the comments what you think. And it also says a law of expectation, which is like the law of attraction, the secret. It says when you think something will happen and you feel strongly about it, you bring about its happening, which is so true. It's like when we think something, when we believe something, we're increasing the odds. And we're not just increasing the odds, we're attracting that to us. So that's important to keep in mind. So believe that you can do the things that you set yourself out to do. And I think you're going to be so much more successful in every area. It says be your own fortune teller, predict your own success by making your goals happen. The more you believe in your own success, the more you will turn your goals into realities. Success is not an accident. If you plan it, work on it, you monitor it and adjust it, you enable yourself to have a productive and prosperous life. And I think that is the key that we all want. So that was setting goals. That was chapter 18. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you guys are having a great time with this book. We're in the last run, and until I see you again, be grateful, live balanced, be yourself. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.